Everybody's on pit road for stops. First ones of the day, Dave.
And Bobby Labonte is in. His car was just a tick loose. They're going to make a chassis adjustment to take care of that. 4 tires for the former Winston Cup champion here in the Daytona 500. Matt.
They are going to work on the left side of Michael Waltrip's car. No chassis adjustments. They just pulled a piece of tape off the left front of the car as the left side tires are on a little bit slow on the front.
29 car just ran into the side of Mike Skinner. Mike was coming into his pit. Kevin Harvick in the 29 was leaving his pit, and there was definitely contact there.
Bobby Labonte got boxed in trying to leave his pit stall when Shauna Robinson was trying to get to hers. And Michael Waltrip had a terrible stop.
Every car that was on the racetrack running was in the lead lap. So they were in the lead lap. They can all make a pit stop. They all came down pit road at the same time. And let's face it, this pit road will not accommodate 40 cars at one time.
We'll try to get a look at the right front of Kevin Harvick's car to see how much damage there is. If there is some damage, that could hurt him, but we're not sure how much damage there is to the nose of that car.
So we'll reset the order as they came off of pit road in a moment. Some contenders finding early trouble in the Daytona 500. A lot of things happening in the early going of the 44th Daytona 500. NBC Sports in Daytona Beach, Florida, with the opening race of the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup season. Here's what's happened to one of the contenders to win, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
You see the piece of debris shadowed? It goes under the car, hits the front, and you see the thing come out the side of the car about the same time as Junior's right front tire goes flat.
Here's Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s view.
You just see he's right along just like he's been doing, and there's no time to react. I don't even know if he actually saw the piece come out from under Michael's car. But
the question is, did it come from Michael's car or was it on the track?
Right there. And then the tire goes down, and boy, you know that right away. That steering wheel starts shaking in your hand, and he did the best thing he could. Just try to keep it straight, let these guys behind him get around.
That puff of smoke there you saw just before the piece of metal came out. So don't know again whether it came from Michael's car or whether it was on the track.
And right now, with the damage that he has to his car, with all this damage, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will not win the Daytona 500, but they'll try to get the best finish they can. Marty?
Benny, here's what's left of that tire. The inner liner did not stay up. It's pretty badly damaged. Over here, Dale Earnhardt Jr., they're putting on a piece of a right front fender. They had a whole nose that they wanted to put on if they needed to. They just cut part of that off instead, and they're now going to replace the right front fender on Dale Jr.'s car. But indeed, their shot to win this race is pretty much over.
Kevin Harvick got some damage trying to leave pit road.
Yeah, I was watching Kevin's pit stop, and just as he was leaving the pit, Skinner, the 4 car, is trying to dive into his pit, and here's the contact, and did quite a bit of damage right there. You can see on the right front, right in front of the tire, aerodynamically, that hurts.
Ricky Rudd has been on pit road as well several times for repairs under this caution. Matt Kenseth is off pit road first. The green flag back in the air at Daytona. Matt Kenseth is the new leader of the Daytona 500. Ken Schrader came off pit road second. John Andretti third. Ryan Newman fourth. And Sterling Marlin fifth. Here's a charge for the lead by Schrader.
With the help of John Andretti in the 43 car, they team up and drive by Kenseth. And here comes the 40 car trying to go on the inside.
Robbie Gordon in that orange and black 31 up in the mix.
Oh, he somehow got between the 12 car of Ryan Newman and the 7 of Casey Atwood. There was a room for that car.
Yeah, that was close, but the 25 was right on Robbie's tail and probably gave him a pretty good run so he could make that move.
Others in that group, the 7 of Casey Atwood, Bobby Labonte is up there, Dale Jarrett and Jeff Gordon are in the group also.
We're on board with Robbie Gordon as he tries to close in on the back of Ryan Newman.
4 lead changes so far today. Some concern about people's ability to pass the leader under these rules. It was a problem a couple of years ago under a very similar aerodynamic package. We'll track that throughout the day. Ward Burton riding the rim in that cat car toward the back of the pack, trying to make some moves forward. How good to see Ken Schrader leading the Daytona 500. His 18th start in this race. He's run very well all week long.
I talked to Newmore, his crew chief, quite a bit this week, and he was really excited about their chances. Kenny was happy with the car, the motor, everything. They're really pumped up.
And now it's Andretti on the outside with some help from Ryan Newman. Tries to take the lead. If the start-finish line had been on the backstretch, we might have credited Andretti with leading that lap, but it...
Matt Kenseth getting shuffled back into the field. Ken Schrader, Fenton, Missouri, 42 years old. Check that, 46 years old. 1991 is the last time he won a NASCAR Winston Cup race.
And John Andretti was credited with leading that lap.
This time for sure, VP, with these new rules like they are, if you're in the middle, you don't want to be there. You just go to the back. It used to be guys would get in the middle and go all the way to the front of the pack.
Talking about Matt Kenseth there, the one in the middle in the black and gold car. He was the leader on the restart. John Andretti driving the Petty number 43. Of course, Richard winning the Daytona 500 7 times.
Meanwhile, there's Dale Jarrett in the middle, trying to help Matt Kenseth and help himself to march forward.
Ken Schrader led that lap, by the way, by a nose. Jarrett goes 3 wide down to the inside, changing lanes, diving underneath Kenseth. Jeff Gordon.
On board with him the last time by. Jeff Gordon's back in 16th position. 17th, oops, 18th.
Inside lane didn't work for him there. I'll tell you what, Walt, talking about the middle lane not working. We just saw Jarrett move up through the center. Johnny Benson and Rusty Wallace gained a little ground there.
Don't forget, we're still pretty fresh on these tires, so I think we're going to be able to get away with that right now. But let's just see what happens about 15 laps on these tires.
There's Todd Bodine in the 66. How tense is it? The guy behind the wheel right now in this traffic. Is he really tensed up on the steering wheel?
It depends on who's on your tail. I mean, if you've got a guy that's run a lot of these races, you know he's not going to do anything silly. It's not that bad. But if you've got a guy on your tail that is making you loose, that's getting his nose right on your back bumper and getting the rear of your car sideways, you want to get somebody else behind you. It gets real tense.
And now here's Jeff Gordon in the middle as he tries to go forward. And while you kept talking about someone getting right on the back of your car and making your car loose, we just so happen we've got an illustration to show you exactly what we're talking about. Air loose, tell them.
And here's what you do. If I'm the car in the blue, I'm going to get my nose right behind this red car. It takes the air off this rear spoiler and packs the air underneath the bumper of the red car. What happens is that makes the rear tires light. That takes the downforce off the car, and it gets the car a little bit loose or a little bit sideways going into the corner. I'm in the blue car, I just turn the wheel and pass him. But I got to remember, he can do that to me next lap.
Jeff Gordon
still dropping back. Last time by was 20th and sounded like he was playing with that accelerator coming off turn 4. He talked about the crew, told the crew the car was tight, so he's probably picking up a little bit of push off 4 and using the throttle to keep it from pushing.
push the turn when the car doesn't want to turn left when the driver wants it to.
I mean, you're turning that wheel as hard as you can, saying turn, but the car has a mind of its own. It still continues to go straight.
And on the restrictor plate races like this, you don't want to get off the throttle. You'd rather just tap the brake, because if you get off the gas with these cars, they don't want to accelerate. So you'll see guys using their left foot and braking more than getting off the throttle if the car's handling.
Outside lane sliding back, Ken Schrader in the lead. Sterling Marlin second. Jerry Nadeau is third. Then the race from fourth on back. The Daytona 500 coming your way on NBC.